This fanfiction is only for entertainment purposes, so please don't take it seriously and don't be offended. It's just a story made out of imagination, so it doesn't define any character in real life. I hope you'll enjoy the story and leave positive comments without hating the author and character. I don't own any pictures, but the storylines are completely mine. I will do voiceover so you can mute it if you want. Hope you will like the video.
Sitting on the hospital bed, you stared blankly out of the window. Your eyes were dull, lifeless, just like your heart. You didn't cry anymore. There were no tears left. You could still hear your stepmother's voice in the background, sharp, cruel, and loud. She was either yelling or lecturing, as always. You didn't even bother to listen now. But her next words, they struck deep. Mrs. Lee, spitefully unbelievable. You couldn't even keep your own husband in control. Lost your baby and now he's out with another woman, ignoring my son's calls too. I thought once you'd get married, I'd finally live peacefully in this house, but here I am, taking care of a useless girl like you. If you had learned how to tempt your husband, maybe it'd be him here and not me. Her words echoed in your ears and stabbed straight through your already broken heart. Your fingers trembled, but you gave her a bitter chuckle. YN, coldly, can't help it, you know? I'm not like you. I don't know how to control men or tempt them, just like you tempted my father, didn't you? The slap came fast. Your cheek stung, turning red. But you didn't flinch. Compared to the pain of losing your baby, this slap meant nothing. You let out a dry laugh, your eyes empty. When she raised her hand again, you didn't hold back. You slapped her hard, and she fell to the ground with a cry. Just then, the door flew open. Your father rushed in, eyes wide with shock. Behind him was Eun-woo, your stepbrother, who immediately ran to help his mother. You scoffed at their perfect timing. Ignoring the drama, you turned your face back to the window. Mrs. Lee, wailing, did you see that? She hit me. Your daughter hit me. Yunwoo's eyes landed on your bruised cheek. He noticed the blood near your lips and froze. Eun-woo, softly, YYN, are you dash? He stopped when your cold eyes met his. Just one sharp glare and he looked away, understanding your message. You didn't want his pity. You didn't want anything from any of them. Mr. Lee, quietly take her out. He ordered Eun-woo to take his mother away. Eun-woo obeyed, dragging the crying, struggling woman out. You sat there quietly, eyes fixed on the dry, wilting tree outside the window. You didn't even look at your father when he stepped closer. Mr. Lee, hesitantly, how are you? He picked up a cream and reached out to apply it on your bruised cheek, but your fingers stopped his wrist midair. YN, cold and blunt, don't. You don't look good pretending to care for me, Mr. Lee. Save your act. As you can see, I have nothing left to offer you. You pushed his hand away. Mr. Lee, is it wrong for a father to care for his child? YN, without blinking, that's the problem, I am not your child. Go look for Eun-woo if you want your child. I'm Y/N Choi Sana-'s daughter. Only hers. Your voice was firm. You still didn't look at him, but your words pierced him harder than any slap. He swallowed, a lump forming in his throat. Then, from outside, your stepmother's voice shouted again, loud and irritating. Mrs. Lee, mocking, be gentle with my husband. He's not like yours, he's a gentleman. You let out a bitter laugh. The kind of laugh that hurts. You whispered quietly but loud enough for your father to hear. YN, softly, with a bitter smile, yeah, a real gentleman. A man who once strangled a child almost to death. What a role model. Your father froze. Guilt filled his eyes. He looked down in shame, not having the courage to meet your gaze. Then silently, he turned and walked out of the room. But his guilt meant nothing to you now. You leaned your back against the wall, your heart growing colder with each second. YN, in a low broken voice, you lied to me too. You don't care about me either. I was stupid to hope. I should have known. I'm cursed to stay hopeless. Always. You stared at the ceiling blankly. The pain inside your chest had no end. And the one man who should have been here, Kim Taehyung, your husband, the mafia king, was nowhere. Not a single call. Not a single visit. Not a word. You were alone. Completely. Flashback. You were only 8 years old then. Small hands. Soft heart. His little princess. But everything changed, that one night. You had come out of your room, rubbing your eyes, after hearing loud voices echo through the house. Confused and scared, you tiptoed toward the living room, only to stop dead in your tracks. Your mom and dad were fighting. He was drunk. Very drunk. He was shouting horrible things at your mother. Words you didn't even understand fully back then, but the tone was cruel. It made your chest hurt. Your eyes welled up. "Yn, softly daddy." You called out in the smallest voice, hoping he'd stop when he saw you. But he didn't. Instead, he turned sharply toward you. His eyes were bloodshot with rage. Before you could even blink, he grabbed a vase from the table and threw it. It hit your small head with full force. Crash. Your body stumbled back. Blood trickled down your forehead. Your tiny hands reached up in confusion as tears blurred your vision. You couldn't understand. Why did he throw it at you? Why was Daddy so angry? Your mom screamed in horror and ran toward you, but your father shoved her away like she was nothing. And then, he came toward you. He grabbed your throat. You gasped, eyes wide with fear, as his hands tightened around your small neck. "Mr. Lee," growling, "this is all your fault. You and that woman ruined my life. I could have lived peacefully if you both hadn't come." His grip tightened. You couldn't breathe. Your tiny hand scratched at his arm, your lips parted, trying to cry, but no sound came. Then she came. Your mother, despite her injuries, rushed to you like a storm and shoved him away with everything she had. "Mrs. Lee, leave her!" She screamed as tears fell from her eyes. She shouted for help while holding your shivering body close. Guards rushed in and dragged your father away, though he fought them, still lost in his drunken rage. You didn't fight. You didn't cry. You just trembled in your mother's arms, clinging tightly to her like your life depended on it. Because it did. "Mrs. Lee, call the doctor. Now." Your mother shouted in panic, her hands trembling as she touched your bleeding head. You buried yourself in her warmth, in her trembling arms. And then, everything faded to black. You fainted. And your father, your so-called father, stopped struggling. His eyes widened when he saw the blood on your forehead and your weak breathing. But it was too late. That night broke everything. From that day on, you started hiding from him. You never met his eyes again. You feared he'd kill you if you did. You stayed locked inside your world, scared and silent. Then, just 2 days later, another storm hit. Your world collapsed completely. Your mother was gone. They said it was an accident. But to you, it felt like murder. Like life snatched her away from you on purpose. You couldn't even cry properly. You just ran, straight into the arms of the man you feared, because there was no one else. But when he returned, he wasn't alone. He came back with another woman beside him. And a boy, someone you had never seen. "Mr. Lee, coldly from today, she's your mother. And this is your brother. I've remarried." That was it. No hug. No apology. No tears. Just a sentence that shattered you completely. You didn't cry. Not even a single tear. You were too numb. Too shocked. Too broken. But that day, he lost his daughter. Because from that moment on, you never called him dad again. You never ran to him. You never looked at him with love. Because you finally understood, you were never daddy's princess. And he was never your mother's true husband. Present time. Your father sat on the bench, staring at the floor, lost in thoughts that refused to leave him. That night, that flash of memory from years ago, it still haunted him. Just then, Eun-woo entered, his face tight with anger after returning from dropping his mother home. Eun-woo, furious, why hasn't Taehyung come yet? Did you try contacting him? Where the hell is he? His voice was loud, sharp, filled with rage. But your father just sighed heavily, his eyes tired. Mr. Lee, quietly, he met with an accident on the way here. Eun-woo froze. His anger disappeared in a second, replaced by shock. Eun-woo, stammering, what? What are you saying? How? Before he could gather his thoughts, your father continued with a grave expression. Mr. Lee, he's in a coma, Eun-woo. The doctors, they don't know if he'll ever open his eyes again. The silence in the room grew heavy, almost unbearable. Eun-woo's eyes widened in disbelief. He sat down slowly, trying to understand what he just heard. Eun-woo, softly, almost whispering, but, shouldn't we tell Yen? She thinks he's with another woman. She's suffering because of that lie. Isn't it better to tell her the truth? Your father looked at him, eyes hard now. Not angry but determined. Mr. Lee, firmly, and what should we say to her? That after losing her child, she's now about to lose her husband too? That her baby is gone, and her husband is lying unconscious, fighting for life? He paused, pain hidden deep behind his strong tone. Mr. Lee, slowly, she's already standing on the edge, Eun-woo. Just barely holding on. If we tell her the truth, she might break completely. At least right now, even if she's angry, she thinks he chose someone else. That anger is keeping her alive. It's her only reason to keep breathing. Let her hold on to that, until she's strong enough to hear the truth. Eun-woo looked at his father. His fists clenched. His lips moved, but no words came out. Finally, he gave a slow, hesitant nod. He understood. It was cruel. But it was the only way to keep you alive. Four months later. You were sitting quietly on the couch, your laptop on your lap, typing away as if your life depended on it. Because maybe, it did. These last 4 months had changed everything. The man who once swore to love you endlessly disappeared when you needed him the most. Not a single call. Not even a message. No explanation. Just silence. The same man who once held your hands with trembling fingers and said, "You're my everything," the same man who cried when you got hurt, who couldn't sleep without kissing your forehead, wasn't there. Not when you cried endlessly in that hospital bed. Not when your child's heartbeat stopped. Not when your world collapsed. And now, his mansion, these people, everyone felt fake. You had stopped talking to them. Their kind words felt hollow, like rehearsed lines from a script. So you buried yourself in work. Your company. Your only escape. You worked like a machine. No rest. No tears. Only silence and numbers. Until. Softly. Love. Your fingers froze on the keyboard. Your heart skipped, but not out of love. Slowly, your eyes turned toward the entrance. And there he was. Kim Taehyung. Your husband. The one you once gave your whole soul to. He stood there leaning slightly, weak. A small smile tugged on his lips, soft and hesitant. He looked at you like he'd just seen heaven. But you? You looked at him like he was nothing but a ghost. Your eyes were cold. Colder than before. Not just with anger but betrayal. You didn't react. You didn't shout. You didn't cry. You simply stood up, brushing down your kurti, and called out. Yen, calm but icy, Hannah, prepare the meal. Your master has returned. Your voice held no warmth. No pain. No love. Just indifference. Then, without a single glance back, you walked away toward your room. He called after you again and again. Taehyung, love, wait. Please love dash. But you didn't stop. Behind you, he tried to follow. His steps were slow, painful. He still couldn't walk properly. His legs were weak, because he had just learned to walk again. And the moment he did, the first place he came to was you. But for you, it was too late. Because the man you once waited for never showed up when your whole world fell apart. Present time. As Taehyung slowly stepped inside the bedroom you once shared, his heart dropped. You were standing by the closet, quietly packing clothes into a suitcase. Your movements were sharp, mechanical, like this wasn't your home anymore. He leaned against the wall for support. His legs still hurt, but the ache in his chest was worse. His eyes roamed the room. Gone were the warm lights. Gone were the soft cushions you personally picked. Gone was the tiny photo frame of your wedding. The room was empty. Colorless. Just like how it used to be before you came into his life. And just like that he realized. You had taken the love with you. Taehyung, softly, are you going somewhere, love? His voice was quiet. Careful. Almost afraid. But you didn't even look at him. You zipped the suitcase and said coldly. YN, without emotion, not me. You and your luggage. Out of my room. And with that, you pushed the suitcase out toward the hallway. He flinched. The sound of it hitting the floor echoed in his ears louder than thunder. But what hurt more was your eyes. Those eyes that once sparkled only for him were now blank. Hollow. And cold. Still, he stepped forward slowly. Taehyung, pleading, please, just listen to me once. I was on my way to you that night, but I got into an accident. I was in a coma for months, Y/N. I swear I didn't know anything. The moment I woke up, I tried to call, but your father told me to come talk to you myself. That's why I came here, even before I could walk properly. I swear on everything I was in a coma. His voice cracked. His eyes begged you to believe him. But you didn't even blink. YN, calm but icy, no, you weren't. You didn't go into coma 4 months ago. You died that day. The day my child died, you died with him. And in these 4 months, I didn't even think of any other reason. I didn't want to. My husband died that day. Whatever you are now, I don't care. Taehyung, I know I hurt you. More than I can ever fix. I wasn't there when you needed me. I wasn't there for our child. I deserve every punishment dash. Slap. Your hand struck his face hard. But to him, it didn't hurt nearly as much as your silence did. He looked at you again, eyes full of guilt, of pain. But you stared at him with fire. YN, voice shaking, do you know something, Mr. Kim? I've never asked anyone for help in my life. Never expected anything from anyone, except you. That night when blood started pouring out of me, suddenly I screamed for you. For the first time in my life, I asked someone to save me. I begged, for you. But you didn't come. You took a step closer, your voice rising. YN, and what did I hear? That you went to help a girl, your dead best friend's sister. Emma, right? So she mattered more than me? More than your child? Taehyung, softly, love, it's not what you dash. Slap. Again. This time, your tears began falling. YN, angrily, don't call me that. I feel disgusted when you say that word now. I warned you, didn't I? I told you not to love me. Not to come close. I knew one day, you'd broke me too. And you did. Your voice broke completely now. YN, sobbing, I would have preferred if you cheated on me rather than leaving me alone, dying in that hospital room. You know what I think? Maybe I was just a one-night mistake. Maybe this child was never meant to be. Maybe you poisoned me. You put something in my food that night, didn't you? That's why my body failed. That's why I lost my baby, because there's no way that I lost my healthy baby without any reason. Tell me. Just tell me the truth. Were you with her these 4 months? Did you kill our baby? You screamed as you cried, your body shaking. Even you didn't know what you were saying anymore. But these were the thoughts that haunted you every night for 4 months. Taehyung stood still, tears silently falling from his eyes. Taehyung, whispering, it's not true. I swear on us, YN. I never. YN, cutting him off. I used to think my father was the worst man I ever knew. But now, I think he has got competition. Kim Taehyung is trying really hard to beat him. You laughed bitterly, wiping your tears roughly. YN, deadly, and you know what? Right now, I'm glad my child died. Because dying is better than having a father like you. Trust me, I speak from experience. You turned to leave. His hand reached out, his fingers trembling, and grabbed your wrist gently, voice shaking as he spoke your name. Taehyung, breaking down. YN, please. But you jerked his hand away without mercy. You didn't look back. You didn't stop. You just walked away. Leaving him there, falling to the ground, in the same room where once, you both had promised each other forever. Taehyung sat on the cold floor of the nursery, the room that was meant to be his child's. But now, it was just a shell. A silent space filled with memories that hurt more than death. His back rested weakly against the wall, his knees pulled up to his chest like a broken boy trying to protect himself from a world that had already destroyed him. The room was dark. Not because the lights were off, but because the light was gone. Gone from his life. Gone from his eyes. Gone with his child. There were no toys now. No little shoes lined up in the corner. No crib where he once imagined singing lullabies. No warmth, no laughter. You had thrown everything out. Because everything in that room screamed of a happiness that ended in tragedy. And he understood. Because standing in that room felt like standing in a graveyard. In his trembling hands was a single photo frame. It was from your baby shower. Your smile in that picture. His arms around you. The tiny cake with "Can't wait to meet you, baby K," written in soft blue icing. The way your eyes sparkled when he whispered, "We're going to be amazing parents, love." He hugged that photo like it was all he had left to live for. His chest rose and fell with deep, broken sobs. The kind of cries that don't make sound at first, just air escaping from pain-filled lungs. Then came the tears. Then came the shaking. He buried his face into the frame, pressing it against his heart like it could bring back everything he lost. Taehyung, whispering through sobs, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I should have been there. I should have been with you, with our baby. I'm sorry." But the apologies only bounced off the empty walls. There was no one to hear them. You had someone to blame him. You had anger. You had rage. You screamed, slapped, shouted. You had a way to let it out. But he didn't even know how to be angry at himself. Because no punishment felt enough. He wanted to break something. Hurt something. Destroy something. But all he could do was fall apart silently. His body shook violently as his cries grew louder. He pressed his forehead to the cold floor, his hands still clutching the photo. He kept whispering your name in between broken breaths, like a prayer to a god that had long stopped listening. And slowly, his voice faded. His sobs turned into gasps. His eyes refused to stay open. His chest burned from crying too hard for too long. And finally he passed out. Tears still on his cheeks. Photo frame still in his hands. Heart still completely shattered. Because now, Taehyung had everything, except the two people he needed the most. To be continued.